welcome back to Googie's Kitchen, and if you are new here then hello and welcome. My name's Alexis and I post 2 videos a week on a Tuesday and a Thursday at 7 AM. So if you love recipe videos and you'd like to see more like this one, then please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And now I'm going to share with you how to make my delicious anniversary deli style butter chicken. As I just mentioned, today I want to share with you our anniversary deli style butter chicken. Now this recipe is really easy to do, but it is slightly time consuming and there are a few ingredients that you will need for this dish. But once it is made, it is delicious, and I think it's perfect for a Sunday lunch. I also think it's brilliant for a midweek meal as well, because you can make all the parts and just freeze them, and then all you have to do is pull it out and put it in the oven. It is an oven baked dish as well, so once it's in the oven, all you have to do is wait for it to cook, and then that is your dinner done. So I'm making this for our lunch tomorrow, and while I was making it, I thought I'd share the recipe with you. So here is how to make our anniversary deli style butter chicken. As you can see here, I have about 500 grams of chopped chicken breast. In the original recipe, I think I said to use chicken thighs or chicken breast, and I don't think I said to chop it up, but I've decided to chop it up today just because it makes it a bit easier for everybody to eat. And also, I think I've done a little bit more than 500 grams because then I'm going to put the leftovers into my freezer. So yes, I've got 500 grams or more of chicken breast chopped up there, and to that I'm going to add 1 inch piece of ginger that I've just simply chopped up into tiny little pieces like that, and I've got about 4 cloves of garlic which I have sliced as well. So I'm going to put those in with the chicken, and then also I have lime, so I'm going to put the juice of 1 lime in here as well. So I'm just going to squeeze this in with my fork. I find this the easiest way to squeeze a lime or a lemon, is just to do it with a fork. So I'm going to put this in, and I've got the second half here. I'm going to put that in as well. And then to that I'm going to add my spices now, and in this jar here I have ground cumin, and I'm going to add a teaspoon of ground cumin. And then I've got some garam masala here as well, so I'm going to add a teaspoon of garam masala. Garam masala always smells really nice. I don't know what it is, but I really like that smell. And then I also have a teaspoon of ground turmeric as well, or turmeric, whatever you want to call it. And then I also have a teaspoon of ground fenugreek. Now fenugreek you can find in supermarkets. I think we found this one in our local Sainsbury's, or maybe even our local Tesco's. And this is actually great if you're breastfeeding as well. Apparently it's really good at helping your milk to come. So if you're breastfeeding, then this is a great meal for you. And then I've got about 200 mils of coconut cream that I'm going to pour in like that. And then all I'm going to do is mix all of these ingredients together, and I'm going to leave this to marinate overnight in the fridge. And then tomorrow it's going to smell just divine, I reckon. Even though it's raw, it's going to smell divine. But I'm going to just add some salt and pepper, so I won't be a moment. I've got my salt and pepper as well, and I'm just going to add a little bit of pepper to this, just for digestion, aid digestion, and I'm going to add a little bit of salt as well, just a pinch or 2 of salt. And then I have my lid right down here for some reason. And what I'm going to do is just mix those in again. So I've made sure that everything is covered in the coconut milk and all of the spices and everything else. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this lid on, and I'm going to put this into the fridge overnight now. The chicken has been marinating in the fridge overnight, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to preheat my oven to 200 degrees. I'm going to start cooking the sauce now, and what I've done is I've got a large pan and I'm putting this onto a high heat on my hob, And then I'm just going to add a bit of oil to the base of this pan. And I'm just going to spread it around until it's spread evenly. And I'm just going to let this heat up now. So my pan has started to get hot, and what I'm going to do is I have peeled and chopped 1 onion finely, I'd say, and I'm just going to put that into the base of the pan, and I am going to stir that around like so until the onion becomes softer and slightly translucent, I'd say, so it becomes clear and like see-through. So I'm just going to continue to fry this, and I'll probably fry this for about 5 minutes now. My pan has started to get a bit too hot, so I'm just going to turn it down slightly as well while I'm frying off my onions. So I'm just turning the frying pan down slightly. This hob here is the best hob, I find. It does get the hottest the quickest. So, but I do have to be careful because it does get very hot very quickly. So I have to turn the heat down. So if your hob gets a bit hot quickly, then obviously turn the heat down. So my onions have softened, and I think I fried those for about 3 minutes actually, not 5. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in about 5 or 6 large on the vine chopped tomatoes. So I just removed the stalks from these on the vine tomatoes, and I just sliced them and then chopped them in half. And yeah, I'm just adding these to the base of the pan like so, if I don't spill it everywhere. So, and I'm just going to continue to fry now until these start to soften. I might just turn the heat back up slightly as well, because I can feel it's not as hot now. So I'm just going to, as I said, I'm just going to continue to fry these until these start to soften. So I've been frying these until they've started to soften and go very mushy in the bottom of the frying pan. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a sliced chilli. So I took the top off, and when I opened it there were no seeds in it, so I didn't have to remove the seeds, but I do remove the seeds because I'm serving this to Ted, and I think it would be too spicy for him if I put a whole chilli in there with the seeds in as well. In the original recipe I think I said to use 2 chilies, so if you do like it a bit spicier then please use 2 chilies, but I'm using 1 because I'm serving this to a child. And I'm just going to put that in, and I'm going to fry that around with the tomatoes now. So I'm just going to continue to fry this now until the chilies start to soften as well. So everything has softened beautifully now, and it's all gone quite mushy in my pan as well, if you can see that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my spices. So I'm going to add a teaspoon of garlic granules to this. And I'm going to add a teaspoon of fenugreek as well, if it will come out of the bottom of the pan, of the bottom of the pot. Hang on. And fenugreek is a great spice, especially if you're breastfeeding. This helps you to lactate, apparently. So if you want something good natural to help you to lactate if you're breastfeeding, then that's a great spice to have, apparently. And then I'm also going to be using a teaspoon of garam masala as well, and I'm going to be using a teaspoon of ground sweet cinnamon in this, and I'm going to use a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. And the only reason I'm using a little bit of ground cloves is simply because cloves are quite strong in their very nature, so you don't need too much of that one. And then I've got a teaspoon of ground ginger as well there. And I'm just going to continue to mix these up. And I'm just going to leave this on the hob to simmer now. So I'm going to turn it right down to low for probably about 5 minutes or so now. And while that's simmering away nicely, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a couple of tablespoons. So I'm going to have to do 1, 2, I'm going to say that's 3, 4. I'm going to do that as a couple of tablespoons. I'm going to add in a couple of tablespoons of tomato puree and just mix that around as well. And I'm also going to just add some salt and pepper to taste as well. So I'm just going to add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper as well. You don't need too much pepper, but pepper is good at aiding digestion. And then I'm going to mix those around as well. And again, I'm just going to leave this on the hob to simmer now. Right, so I'm going to turn the heat off and I'm going to remove the pan from the heat, and I'm just going to leave this to cool now. So I left my sauce to cool, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the sauce that I have into my blender, and I'm going to blend this until everything is smooth. Depending on how liquidy your tomatoes are, you might need to add a little bit of water to this as well. I think mine are okay, so I'm not going to add any water. And also, if you didn't want to blend them and you just wanted to mix it straight in with the chicken, then you could do. The only reason I blend it is because my son is a little bit fussy. If he finds a chilli in there, it might put him off. So I'm just going to blend these, and then I'm going to add this sauce to the chicken. So I've blended my sauce until it is smooth, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, as I said earlier, I'm going to add this to my chicken now. While I've been making the sauce, I also had the baking tray in the oven as well. So when you hear the chicken go into the bottom of this baking tray, it's probably going to sizzle. So I'm going to put the marinated chicken that I made yesterday in first. Like so. No sizzle, so it may have just cooled down slightly. So yes, I'm just going to add all of that sauce as well. Try to anyway. It smells delicious, I have to say. It smells just like an Indian takeaway right now. And now I'm going to add in the red sauce that I've just made as well. So I'm just going to pour this all over. And then I'm going to mix these two together now. So you'll get a beautiful colour, hopefully, as well in the sauce. Oh, it does smell good as well. So I'm just mixing all of these together now. I've got this like orangey red colour. Looks like the sun. Oh, delicious. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some butter to this as well. So I've got to cut it up into about 10 pieces, and I'm just going to add butter all round the sides and in the middle as well. So you get an even amount of butter cooking with the sauce as well. And now I'm going to put this into the oven. Oh, that was about 80 grams of butter, by the way. I'm actually using ghee as well. So ghee is butter that has no milk in it, basically. It's just the fat of the butter, and that fat of the butter is meant to be the best bit for your body as well. So I've put the ghee in now. You can use unsalted butter with this recipe as well if you want to. So I've put the ghee in, and I'm going to put this into the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. And while this is cooking, I'm going to be boiling some rice as well. So the deli style chicken is done. And I'm going to take this out of the oven and serve it with the rice and some fried kale as well. I've just served myself some of the deli style butter chicken, and it smells so good. I'm going to have to go and eat this now. So I will link the recipe in the description box below for you. But for now, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and please feel free to leave any comments below. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you all soon. Bye.